There's no evidence that we are safer because of this war. We did not have any evidence that Iran intended to imminently attack this country in any way, shape, or form. So I disagree with your assessment that we are under threat.
Do you not believe them when they say death to America?
Listen, our adversaries use rhetoric all the time.
Democrats brought yet another war powers resolution to the Senate floor today. It failed. That's strike 6. The president is not pleased with these shenanigans.
They go again and again. The war power. I'm negotiating a deal with Iran. And every week, every 3 days, they put in a thing that the war should stop. And people ask me, how the hell do you negotiate like that? You're destroying them. Every day I read, think of it, we militarily decapitated the country. And every day I read about how well they're doing militarily. They got nothing left. They're done.
Here to discuss, Lexington Institute Vice President Dr. Rebecca Grant. Dr. Grant, thanks for being with us today. Let me ask you about the war powers thing, okay? Because we're at that day 60. You know, you look back in history, it seems like something that hasn't gotten in the way when we've been using force, but it's also enshrined in law. What difference does it make that we've gotten to day 60 here?
Well, I think 2 things. Operation Epic Fury has achieved a lot, including a shift from airstrikes to blockade, and it can go back to airstrikes if it needs to. But the war powers, I'm sorry to say, this is political gamesmanship. Senator Schumer says he's going to keep bringing this forward. And to me, I'm horrified to see it because we've got 50,000 American service members out there carrying out the nation's work. This is a moment for Congress to be bipartisan. They can do all the analysis they want when this is over. They ought to drop the war powers. But from what I heard over the last 2 days on the Hill, the Democrats want to make Iran a big talking point in the midterms.
From an outsider's perspective, it seems like we're sort of at an impasse or a standstill or not much is happening. Now, I know there's an insider's perspective that may be far different, but are you looking for something to happen here to kind of break things up, to move things to the next level, either to get the negotiations going again or to use military force to change our leverage and our position in the region? What do you think comes next?
Well, that's exactly the right question. I think President Trump is pretty content right now with the economic blockade enforced by sea power, our great carriers, destroyers, you name it. And with that pressure it's putting on Iranian oil production, very complex, of course, but Iran can't take that pressure forever. Don't forget sanctions from Treasury and other things piling on top of this. And I think before long, we will see some international cooperation, maybe Europe, Japan, South Korea, helping to do a little bit of perhaps convoy escort and getting that maritime reinsurance invoked. So that's all good. But hey, I think the president has been briefed on a fresh set of targets. And if he needs to use military pressure on Iran again, he'll do so, again, destroying anything that's left in their military or defense industrial base in Iran.
You've kind of got this like dueling narratives on the strait. You've got on one hand, the U.S. saying, look, we've blockaded it, we control it, we decide what gets in and out. You've got Iran kind of saying the same thing. The Ayatollah, if it is the Ayatollah, saying we control the strait. It's ours to decide what to do. I obviously would tend to trust the U.S. perspective on this, but there's not much going through that strait, including things that we would consider to be friendly vessels. Does more have to be done on that front, not just to have a blockade, but to show the world that, in fact, vessels who are friendly to the U.S. can get through, carry cargo, and do business?
Yes, and we did see a number of vessels, about 20, go through over the weekend. Hey, a Russian mega yacht got out. We've seen cruise ships get out. It's a confusing situation for mariners, but the bottom line is, no, Iran does not have control. They are blockaded. Our U.S. Navy destroyers have cleared and run a couple of routes around that choke point that we are now so familiar with, and we've seen traffic go both in and out. The problem is the shippers, they are on a very precise schedule. It takes time to reconfigure that, and they are not yet seeing the signs that they want to see in order to get traffic moving. But I think we're getting much closer. Operation Epic Fury destroyed the key elements, Iran's Navy anti-ship cruise missiles, and we still have great air dominance and, of course, sea control over that. So I think we're going to see a gradual increase in traffic. And no, Iran does not control the strait. The U.S. Navy controls the strait.
Okay, I want to get your take on this, Rebecca, as well. This is Massachusetts Congressman, Senate candidate Seth Moulton lashing out over the Trump administration's boat strikes on alleged narco-terrorists, claiming Secretary of War Hegseth is guilty of war crimes. Listen.
Do you believe that the Secretary of Defense is guilty of war crimes?
Absolutely. I mean, he's clearly behind the operation to shoot all these boats in the Caribbean when it's very unclear that we actually have any confirmation that these so-called narco-terrorists, a term the administration invented to justify this action, are even on the boat. Back in World War II, the Allies tried Nazi submarine captains for doing this exact same thing. And guess what the conclusion was? They got executed. Listen to that, Mr. Secretary.
Rebecca, so much you could dig into there. I mean, I just want to highlight the fact that, what are we, not even a week out of an attempted assassination of the president, and you have a sitting congressman, somebody who wants to be a senator, uttering the words Nazi and execution in the same sentence with respect to the Secretary of War. That sounds reckless at the very least to me. What do you think?
I agree. I know Rep. Moulton is a Marine Corps veteran, but he's all wrong here because we have really exquisite maritime surveillance. This was true in the Caribbean during these strikes and boardings. We knew exactly what these ships were, who was aboard them when the crew pulled up to the dock. There was no doubt that these were legitimate targets. This is all reviewed very carefully. And hey, honestly, this is old news. He's using it for political gain. It was not a good moment.
Dr. Rebecca Grant, great to see you tonight. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.